Ladies and gentlemen, now three three-minute rounds for the USFFC 145-pound featherweight title.
Now, Casey Oxendine, I've got to confess to you that this fight may be one of the ones out of all of them on tonight's card that could be an electrifying fight. Maybe the most electrifying fight. Now, I know that's saying a lot, but the reason I say that is because you have two electrifying stand-up knockout artists coming in to meet each other, both of which have rarely fought someone that's willing to stand with them. And I don't think either of these guys are looking for the takedown.
Well, of course, Kyle Martin out of 8 points Muay Thai with Chris Clotfelter, guy I know extremely well. This guy can bang, my friend. And he's taking on Brandon Webb. We saw what he did last time. Two, like you said, unbelievably electrifying fighters, but very contrasting at the same time.
That's true. You know, Kyle Martin with the solid Muay Thai kickboxing ability. Brandon Webb with more of the traditional kickboxing style. And I've seen Brandon Webb fight several times. He appears to have very few flaws in his game, if any. He keeps a low stance and he waits for the right strike, and he is fast and strong. And I know his opponent is as well. I'm not sure which one to call this one, Casey Oxendine, other than to call it a great fight.
We know Brandon Webb keeps that low center because he doesn't want to be taken down. Again, I don't think that he has to worry about that with Kyle Martin. Kyle Martin is used to standing and delivering, banging back and forth, taking the abuse that it takes to be in a sport like Muay Thai, and then delivering back. So because of that, that creates a formula for success, the success for the fans watching.
Brandon Webb fighting with contemporary martial arts out of Hartwell, Georgia. His teammate, CJ Dozier Hamilton, also on the card tonight, fighting in the co-main event. These two guys are great friends, great training partners, and often find themselves on the same card. And that's really got to help out a lot when you have a good buddy, a good friend, good training partner to help push you through the hard hours of training camp.
Well, it does, and of course tonight, you know, it's the same deal. You know, we've got Stony Hale, Anthony Boyd, and then we saw Jerry Bentley earlier. Those guys have been training really hard together, and just like you said, that camaraderie means so much. You experience life together, you know, that you experience memories together, and those things are long-standing.
Kyle Martin told me that he got into mixed martial arts because he wanted to stay in shape, he wanted to continue the competition aspect of his wrestling, and he said that his favorite thing about mixed martial arts is the discipline. It's the discipline and keeping everything in his life in line, and how mixed martial arts helps him do that.
I'm Brandon the Kid Webb. I'm from Hartwell, Georgia. I'm defending my 145 belt, and y'all are gonna see a knockout just like last time I fought.
And here comes Brandon Webb. I'll say this about both competitors, two chiseled individuals.
Yes.
These guys have spent a lot of time in the gym. They pay close attention to every aspect of training. Their outward appearance reflects that, but nowhere near what their performance inside the cage is about to show.
Well said, Casey Oxendine. And athleticism not the big differentiating factor here. In fact, not too many of them. Brandon Webb, 7-1 against Kyle Martin, who's 5-1, and that's a pretty good record on both those guys. Kyle Martin has an age difference of 2 years, height advantage of 2 inches, weight being the same. The fans believe Brandon the Kid Webb's going to walk away the victor, 72 to 18.
Well, it's hard not to call it for Webb, and I will
sorry.
say this because of his dominant victory over Travis Varner in his last outing. I'm a huge fan of Varner. He's one of my favorite personalities in mixed martial arts, but Brandon Webb really showed out in that fight. He really performed, and you know, when you have a performance like that, it's hard to pick against the guy.
I asked Brandon Webb what some of his future goals are as a mixed martial artist, and without any hesitation, he responded, UFC champion. Now, I know that could potentially be an easy answer, Casey, but I tell you, you don't always get that one.
Yeah.
And for someone that has high goals like that, that really highlights the devotion that he's put into this sport, into, like you said, his training, his fitness. And it's going to be interesting to see how far this guy can go. He has a big roadblock in his way in Kyle Martin.
Well, you know, it's funny you should say that because how much power is in your words. You know, I've heard guys say, one day I'm going to fight in the UFC. I'm going to fight in the UFC. And I saw those guys get to the UFC, and it's almost like that's their goal. If you strive to be the champ, to be the top of the food chain one day, then it's just a heartbeat and a blink away.
Well, Wayne Gretzky once said, you'll miss every shot you don't take. And if you're going to set high goals, you'll have a lot of reward along the way.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, 3 3-minute rounds for the USFFC featherweight title, brought to you by Spivey King and Spivey LLP. Introducing first the fighter on my left. He is the challenger. He weighed in at 144 pounds with a record of 5 wins and 1 defeat. Fighting out of 8 Points Muay Thai, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Kyle Martin. And now, his opponent. He weighed in at 145 pounds with a record of 7 wins and only 1 defeat. Fighting out of Contemporary Martial Arts, Hartwell, Georgia. He is the reigning, defending, undisputed USFFC featherweight champion, Brandon the Kid Webb.
I think this is going to be a good one,
Your referee,
Casey.
Josh Ward.
Don't blink, my friend. It's about to start right now.
This is the 8th bout in the evening of tonight's card. Of course, this is for the 145-pound title. Both fighters appear to be ready, and here we go.
It is on.
Stand-up war about to take place in front of our very eyes here cage side. Kicks being exchanged early on.
Testing the manhood, if you will. Checking kicks, taking kicks. Those are the most painful, in my opinion, the most painful element of striking is actually the leg kick. I've seen guys, you know, take shots to the head and walk right through it. I've even seen guys cover up and absorb body shots. But, man, you start licking that leg, man, and you separate the men from the boys.
You got guys changing stances pretty quick, and you mentioned the pain involved with leg kicks. The pain involved with leg kicks on day 1 is not even close to on day 2.
Oh, look at that. Brandon Webb taking it high. Brandon Webb so fast, so quick here.
Great technique from both these guys so
Yeah.
far.
I think that may have woke Kyle Martin up just a little bit. He's turning a little harder on his strikes. And a beautiful check there by Kyle Martin.
Both these fighters appear confident in their striking ability, neither seeming to take the early advantage by any dramatic amount.
Oh, nice shot.
I spoke
Brandon Webb down and back up in a blink of an eye. So quick.
both fighters using feints to try to create an opening for more strikes. And Casey, I talked to both these guys. Great exchange there. I spoke with both fighters before the fight. Kyle Martin gave me no prediction for a ending. Brandon Webb said he will be through in 2. The kid saying he will finish his man in the 2nd round.
Now I'll say this, look at Kyle Martin keeping his chin tucked. That's very impressive. That means he's ready to bang. That means he's also ready to counter, but that's a hard shot. That is a hard shot by Brandon Webb.
Very hard shot. Kyle Martin responds with a single leg. Can he finish? No, he can't.
The takedown from Kyle Martin. Who would have expected that?
That right straight from Brandon Webb hurt
Another
Kyle
hard
Martin.
shot
Another one
from Brandon Webb.
That has got the attention of Kyle Martin, who now has his back against the cage, looking to try to regain some momentum.
Kyle Martin with his eyes appear to still be slightly glazed over there from that initial onslaught from Brandon Webb, and Brandon Webb continues to put the pressure on here.
Kyle Martin already looking for other opportunities aside from striking, going for 2 takedowns, failing on both. That has
Another
to make
big
Brandon
left
Webb even more confident.
Oh, yeah. Nasty takedown.
And the referee stopped it. Was that the round, or
I'm
was
not
that?
sure. I'm not certain.
I think that was the
believe
round.
so.
Okay, that was the round. Yep. Wow, what an intense first round of action. That's about anything you can expect for in a stand-up
Way
war.
to close it out. Brandon Webb really putting on a clinic right here. So fast and so explosive.
Chuck Cawthon doing a great job keeping his fighters in shape. He's been training martial arts in the Hartwell, Georgia area for quite some time, cranking out quite a few good competitors. Now cornering Brandon the Kid Webb and probably telling him more of the same.
Undoubtedly. I mean, this fight, that first round was absolutely flawless on the part of Brandon Webb. Great head movement, so fast, his timing is on. But, you know, huge props to Kyle Martin. He's delivering as well. He's just a heartbeat away or behind Brandon Webb.
I agree with that.
And those are crucial, and that means a lot here.
And his ability to recover should be noted because he ate some good shots, kept his composure, actually, you know, bought some time with the single leg attempt.
We don't train at 8 points Muay Thai without having great toughness and great recovery ability.
Muay Thai literally translates to the art of the 8-point strike, 2 hands, 2 elbows, 2 knees, and 2 feet. So far, we've seen all 8 of those used in this matchup.
So Brandon Webb, look at the footwork, light on his feet, moving around. I fear that Kyle Martin is falling into the tempo being presented here by Brandon Webb.
I think so too. Brandon's feints seem to keep Kyle back a little bit. Brandon able to pick his shots, pick his timing, and doing so with pretty good accuracy so far. Stiff leg kick from Brandon the Kid Webb, who appears to be having a good time in here.
Yes, and I believe, I don't know if it's that Kyle Martin may still be a little bit dazed from the first round there, or that he just can't find that timing, and it's causing him to be slightly hesitant. But Brandon Webb continues to land with pinpoint accuracy straight down the middle.
Brandon said his favorite thing about mixed martial arts is punching people in the face legally, and the energy that happens inside the venue and the atmosphere that he can generate with his striking style.
Well, there's plenty of energy in here tonight. Man, the U.S. Army veterans, the Purple Hearts, and all of the action going on inside the cage. It's amazing.
It really has been a great night of fights. USFFC pulling no punches and bringing all great kinds of promotion and production, fighter talent. Just an all-around great fight, night of fights here tonight in Kingsport, Tennessee.
And let's give a big props to Cyrus Fees. You know, he was. Oh, that's a big shot. That's it. That fight is done.
Over.
That fight is done. Kyle Martin is holding his nose. It could have been a break right there. That quick.
Wow. Brandon the Kid Webb delivers on his promise to put his man away in the second round, and this is a great victory for the champion. It was a straight right delivered straight down the pipe, and there you see Kyle Martin covering up immediately in pain. He knew it was a hard shot. So did Brandon, and so did the referee. Your fight is over, and still 145-pound amateur champion for USFFC. That is Brandon the Kid Webb. Brandon did a good job setting the jab, bringing down the defense of Kyle Martin before the finishing blow came down the pipe in the form of a straight right hand with a lot of power behind it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Ward stops the fight at 158, round 2, with your winner by TKO due to strikes and still USFFC featherweight champion, Brandon the Kid Webb.
All right, I am here with Brandon the Kid Webb, still USFFC 145-pound champion. We saw you do it 3 months ago in Greenville. You come back, you said it was going to be through and two, and your prediction was correct. Talk about the fight.
I came in here and do exactly what I knew I'd do. I told you I'd knock him out in the first 2 rounds, and I did that.
You know, there was a little bit of jockeying for position there at the beginning, exchange of leg kicks, but out of nowhere, the precision, the head movement, the quickness, it all kicked in gear. What else do you have in that bag of tricks that you have in store for us?
Get me more fights and you'll find out.
All right, so we just talked to Thomas Brooks over here, and it looks like, in addition to the USFFC title, your next bout will be for the ISKA Tennessee State title. So whoever they line up for you, come ready. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to all my training partners, Jay, CJ, Chase, and my trainer Chuck. And I want to thank all the veterans. And I want to give a shout out to my brother and my stepdad because they have birthdays coming up.
Well, there you have it, everybody. Put your hands together for your champion, Brandon the Kid Webb.